All right, guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. We're going live for the Genesis Invitational, and just once again want to elaborate on it. This is going to be an invitational. This is not an open event. With that being said, we are losing around around 30 players. So we're losing some of our edge there. Yes, this player pool is a little bit easier now this week just because of how many good quality of players that we get. I mean, we're getting last week's winner at 7.2K this week, so it's a pretty interesting week this week. Let's get into the picks. There are going to be some players that I'm going to touch on directly this week just because their pricing sticking out to me. There are going to be some pretty interesting plays this week. All right, so I am going to touch on one of them right away. So the first one is going to be Bryson DeChambeau. So Bryson hasn't been getting talked up really at all this week, which really kind of surprises me. Let me pull up his stats here. So really good total driver, really good ball striker, and that seems like that's going to be what is consistent with who is doing well this week is, you're hitting the ball well, essentially. But he's also good in driving distance, which it does seem like this is going to be a driving distance week. He's good at scrambling if he does get in trouble. So he might not be the best in strokes gain approach, but if he is struggling in that, at least he's really good at scrambling as well. So I don't really get the price point for him, but the thing I don't get the most is a lot of people are really talking themselves off of Bryson. And at this price point, I like it. He had T15 here last year, T41 the year before that, and he withdrew the year before that. But we're getting him at under 8K, which is just really kind of shocking to me. So Bryson's going to be an interesting play this week, I think. And then one other one, Xander Schauffele. So Xander is virtually the same play as Bryson. He's just priced up more. T15 here last year, T9 the year before that. His recent form's okay. If you take out that one round at the Waste Management Phoenix Open where he shot at, 74, his recent form would be great. So, he's kind of getting penalized this week just because he had one bad round, but still at this price point, 9.2K for a guy that's consistently been finishing, T20 or better. And his course history is telling us that as well. I do like him as a play. He is a good stab fit. He has been struggling with the putter, but that's pretty much it. Top 20 in both total driving and ball striking and strokes gained total. He's top 11 in scrambling as well. We know he can be long when he needs to, so Xander's going to be an interesting play for me. I definitely have gotten onto him a little bit more this week as the week has went on. Then there's one other play that I want to touch on as well, just because there's going to be some kind of strategy behind it. So Carlos Ortiz is a value play that I really like this week, and I definitely get it. The guy has great course history here. He's been relatively solid this whole week, and he's good stat fit. But he's seeming like he's going to be a chalky value play this week. I'll touch on Lanto here in a second there, Nathan, as well. He's going to be part of this point, actually. So we do have Carlos Ortiz priced at 6.9K, but I really like Sebastian Munoz priced cheaper. Now, he's a little bit more risky, I get it. Doesn't have the course history here. His recent form's okay, but he's a really strong stat fit. He's 33rd in total driving, 60th in ball striking, 22nd in strokes gained total. He's a fine putter. He is top 50 in scrambling and also driving distance. So he is really checking all the boxes. He's a top 20 stat fit for me this week. So, if we're just looking at stats, which is essentially what we have to do this week, he's not going to be a bad value play. We did get that question on Lanto Griffin here. So let's go ahead and answer it. So Lanto Griffin, I do like a lot as a play as well. So he's going to be kind of a play, I think, this year where he just ends up being in my player pool essentially every week because he's just been a really nice stat fit pretty much this whole year. Let me pull up his stats here. So he's top 50 in total driving, strokes gained total, total putting, scrambling, and driving distance. And all of his other stats are relatively decent as well. We've seen his upside pretty much this whole year, getting top 10s here and there. Yes, he's going to have a few missed cuts on the year. He's a rookie, doesn't have that much experience at courses, and that's kind of my pause with him. And, I think that's why people are going with Ortiz a little bit more, just because kind of similar form, similar stat fit, except for Ortiz has a little bit more course experience, and this is kind of an event where typically course experience does elevate a person's game a little bit. in that value range, I do like Brian Harmon as well. I expect him to make the cut. JT Poston is someone that I didn't end up on this week, but I do like him as a play. All right, so we got a question about Jason Kokrak. So yeah, Jason Kokrak I actually keep ending up on quite a bit this week. And the reason being is because this is a course where even when he wasn't playing well, he always did well at. I want to find his stats here. Anyways, I can't find his stat. Oh yeah, here it is. So he's top 50 in total driving and ball striking, but he's also 7th in driving distance. We know that driving distance does tend to matter here, but the thing about Jason Kokrak is he really came on strong last year. He had a career year last year. So yes, he's kind of regressing back to the mean this year, but he's playing at a course that he's always played at well. T37 here last year, T20 the year before that, T22 the year before that, and then a T2 the year before that as well. So Jason Kokrak, at that price point, I definitely do like him. There was a point where my cash build was either going to feature him, Nick Taylor, or Scott Piercy. I ended up just rebuilding it, kind of did a more fair and balanced approach. But I was really starting to lean towards Jason Kokrak there. So that kind of paints a picture of how I, really feel about him this week. And then while we're getting into the questions, guys, feel free to fire them off. Here are some, Slate specific questions that we got. So is there going to be an edge on this slate? So typically, there's always either a player that's mispriced or a group of players that are mispriced, if it's going to be a fair and balanced approach, if it's going to be a studs and duds approach. I got that question a little bit this week. So where is the slate edge? And to be honest with you, it's with the European players or, the non-American players. They're all priced down a ton this week. You look at Justin Rose, he's priced down. He's priced at 8.5K. You got Paul Casey, too cheap as well. The list goes on and on. I'll keep going. Matthew Fitzpatrick is extremely discounted this week. Adam Scott's a little bit too cheap as well. They're all at their own tiers, but they're all definitely priced too low. I'm not on Sergio this week, but he's priced a little bit too low as well. Cameron Smith, he's definitely priced down too low. So that just kind of paints a picture for these guys that are non-Americans. They're essentially getting a discount just for that reason. How do you feel? Oh, Aaron Baddeley. Yes, Josh. Joshua, sorry. I was going to touch on him a little bit later on in this video. So Aaron Baddeley is a name where I had 40 players highlighted this week. I had to trim the player pool down. He was the last player I trimmed out. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. So if you're finding reasons to play Aaron Baddeley, I am not going to blame you at all. And I definitely get the price point's really good. The course history has been there. And the thing about Aaron Baddeley is he has been trending in the right direction. He's had moments where he's popped, and it does seem like he's going to break through eventually this year. He's made 3 straight cuts. Aaron Baddeley, T49. This is course history now. T49, T14, missed cut, and T26. He's not the best at fit, but once again, that course experience here with that relatively okay recent form, that is a value play where I don't want to go that low this week. It's a lot like last week where there's kind of an edge where it just cuts off. And for me, that's Sebastian Munoz, but I definitely get to play. So if you're rolling with him, I don't blame you. Got a wild one. So Lee has been popping stat fit wise. I can't play him. He is a guy that just keeps popping up stat fit wise. One of these tournaments he will have a good week. It's just a matter of when he does. I don't think that's going to be this week. But I totally get the question here. He's total driving, top 10 in that, 54th in ball striking. If he can just put the rest of his game together, which will eventually happen, he will be able to, play well. But I don't think that's going to be this tournament. He did have the T25 he played here last year. But I don't know. I just don't see it worth it for that dart throw. I definitely get the reasoning behind it. Someone, the same player is Scott Brown, who has a little bit better course history. If you're trying to find someone, at min price to play, I think that'd be the play I'd go. I don't really want to go that route though this week. Luke List value play. So Luke List, there are a ton of decent value plays this week. I don't find myself playing him this week. He does have fine course history. He's a decent stat fit this week, but I just found the players around his price point a little bit more appealing this week. So I couldn't find a way to play him this week. But if you did it, I definitely wouldn't blame you there. All right, do we have any more questions here? I'll just keep firing them off. There are going to be a couple players I do want to touch on a little bit more before we get into the FanDuel and Yahoo plays. All right, so that 8.5K and below range is one that I've been building. Well, today I built a ton of lineups out at that range. I ended up building a little bit more lineups probably this week than I should have. That's just because this range is pretty appealing. You got Justin Rose there, who, yes, he hasn't played in a while, and the last time he did play, it was a miscut. So we do worry about that, but, T4, T16 here the last few plays, or the last few years. Then you got Abraham Answer here, who I really do like as a play this week. Colin Morikawa, so he doesn't have any course experience here, which is probably why his price is low, but the guy has been a top 30 machine pretty much since he's been on tour, so I really do like him as a play. And then Sanjay Im, top down, he's a great value this week. You look at his stat fit, he's an elite stat fit, he's in elite form, 14 straight made cuts. And then, yes, he did miss the cut here last year, but that was his first time playing it. I do think that even playing it and missing the cut gets you that course experience, and he should be able to make the cut this week. All right, so we got a question about Yahoo, so let's just go straight into Yahoo here real quick. All right, so my favorite play on Yahoo, I believe Grizzly asked this question on Twitter, so I'll touch on it and I can elaborate on it a little bit more. So I think you had said that you had Nick Taylor on there as well, so I'll try to pull it up on my phone and see, but Nick Taylor is minimum price on Yahoo this week, an insanely cheap discount. He's a guy that I'm thinking about in cash, and honestly, if he hadn't won last week, I would be probably have him as a core play this week because his recent form would be great, his stat fit would be great, and his course experience would be great. So on Yahoo, that's where I'm going to be playing him a lot. And then Bubba Watson, $34 for him on Yahoo is an insane discount. If you're playing on Yahoo, you almost got to put in Bubba Watson. If you're afraid of playing him on DraftKings or FanDuel because you're afraid that he's going to be too popular, too chalky, well, he's going to be chalky on Yahoo, but I just don't see how you avoid it on Yahoo this week. Then we got Abraham Answer there, priced at $29, which is another great discount for us this week on Yahoo. I really do like him on DraftKings. I'm going to be playing him quite a bit, but I think where I'm going to get most of my exposure to him is on Yahoo. He does have okay course history, but he is getting better the more times he plays it. And obviously, he's just in some really great recent form. Let me pull up the players at 20 and below. There was one other player that I thought I could play. I just didn't want to. Let's find it. So Dylan Fratelli, I don't like as a play, or I don't love as a play, but I think that'd be the play that I would go with on Yahoo at $20 if you had to. Honestly, there's a lot of price discounts on Yahoo where if you're not playing or if you already have Nick Taylor and you can't get up to Carlos Ortiz at $21, I'd probably just try to rebuild, maybe build in that mid-range a little bit more. Then let's get into the FanDuel discount plays. All right, so the FanDuel discount plays. So I do want to point this out. Adam Scott on FanDuel this week is really cheap, especially compared to everyone else around him. 10.8K, you're just getting a really nice discount for a guy that should be able to make the cut, has great course experience, and has a good stat fit. Russell Knox is someone that burnt a lot of people last week, and he doesn't have the course experience here like he has pretty much the last 2 months. So I get why a lot of people don't want to play him, and I'm not playing him on Yahoo at all, but on FanDuel I am. I like the price discount of him on FanDuel. And then we got Scott Piercy, our boy Scott Piercy. He's a really nice price point on FanDuel this week, so at 8.7, I'll definitely be getting my shares of him on there. And then I was trying to find someone below 10K that wasn't, but it was the 10 to 9K range. And I just ended up with Sanjay M just because he's a really good stat fit. I think he's going to make the cut. Like I already touched him a little bit. You guys get that play. And then Jason Kokrak. So if you guys do play on multiple slates and you're trying to get exposure to Kokrak, I think FanDuel is the route that we get him on there. Just because if you just play one slightly discounted play, It really makes your build a lot easier. So I think that'd be the route that I would go this week for FanDuel. All right, guys, about to wrap up here. If you have any more questions here, slate specific, or questions about lineup construction for this week, get them in. If not, I'm be logging off here shortly. As always, I do like to touch on the membership page. It is only $10 a month. Do give you guys a sample build. Last week, the sample build had Nick Taylor in it. Now, that's just going to be my first thoughts for the week. But most of the time, it gives you a nice starting point to go out and do the rest of your lineup build and, roster it according to the way that you guys play DFS. If you're more cash focused, make the lineup more cash focused. If you're more GPP focused, make it more GPP focused. If you just want to take it as a base build and, make slight adjustments here and there, that's how you can do that. It's just a nice starting point, I think. That's why I like to include it. But the biggest thing is, we give you guys the player pool, kind of the stats for the whole week, what we're looking at, their course experience with that, and then we'll give you our stat model, which is our top 50 plays for this week, just based on the model. Then we give you guys our cash plays, our GPP plays, and then just a written out summary of that slate. So I do think it's a really nice tool. Definitely has been beneficial for the people that have signed up for it. So if you guys want to do that, you can. If not, just please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. We are logging out here, so hopefully this is going to be a fun tournament. It is an invitational this time. It's the first time it has been played as an invitational, so there should be a lot more lineups with 6 out of 6 across the cut line, 5 out of 6 across the cut line. Essentially, if you don't get 6 out of 6 across the cut line and don't have any top 10 plays, it could be a rough week for you. So definitely shoot for 6 out across the cut line, but you want to shoot for a little bit more players that have a little bit more upside. One quick note, I will throw out Ryan Moore there as well. He's a guy who either misses the cut or gets a top 10 finish. His course experience says that, and his recent form says that as well. All right, guys, we're out. Thanks for watching the video this week, and have